Hello everybody, welcome to the Comic Game Movie Show. My name's Ishan, and today I'm here to review the first 3 episodes of Y the Last Man. Now, Y the Last Man is based on the very well-known graphic novel back in the day, I think by Brian K. Vaughan. It's a Vertigo comic. I think it's a Vertigo comic. I believe it's a Vertigo comic. And that comic has been something that has been in the works for a very long time. They've been trying to turn this into a movie or a show. At a certain point, it was a show with Shia LaBeouf connected. It was a movie trilogy with Shia LaBeouf connected to it. That didn't happen. Then Ezra Miller was connected to it. That didn't happen. This thing has been in Project Hell, has been in hell for years. Has been in studio hell for years because no one can get this damn movie made. Like, a bunch of people want to make this movie. It hasn't, movie/show, they don't matter. It just hasn't worked out. And this is one of the most popular, most well-known graphic novels probably of all time. Because in this, I've been told and I've seen people say, the Y the Last Man is basically, it's not beginners because it's still an interesting comic. Obviously, it's made a show about it. But it's thought about as like, this is one of the more, this will ease you into the reading. If you want to read comics that aren't DC or Marvel, just comics that are outside of the norm, Y the Last Man is the easiest starting point into getting into that. Why the Last Man is preferred to as like a gateway into other kind of graphic novels. Like that's what it was considered. That's what Y the Last Man had been considered for very long. I mean, before The Boys, before Umbrella Academy, before all these other non-DC Marvel projects, Y the Last Man was the comic/project that most comic book people, at least from what I remember, say, if you want to get into reading comics outside of the superheroes and Marvel and DC stuff, read this and it'll ease you into getting into reading other comics outside of it. And, I never read Y the Last Man, but I'd heard about it for a very long time. And the story from the movie, from the show, is pretty much the same in the comic, which is Yorick Brown is the last man on Earth. Like, on one fateful day, it's crazy, just randomly. Like, Y the Last Man is more of a thought project than an actual show. And, that's what it was designed to be, is a thought project. But either way, Yorick Brown is the last man on Earth. And because one fateful day, just randomly, it's a normal day, Yorick's going through some stuff, his sister's going through some stuff, and his mother is, she's playing the political card. She's a big-time political figure. She's trying to navigate her way through those waters, and she's got aspirations to try to become president of the United States. There's different storylines going on. They really treat it like some kind of like The Walking Dead, where there's just these different characters who have different things going on. And you know what's going to happen. You already know, because if you've ever read the comic, or if you've even heard of the idea, if you just saw the trailer, you know what's going to happen. And just one fateful day, every man on the planet, as far as we know, just starts dropping dead. Not dropping dead. That makes it sound, saying they drop dead is polite. They start spitting up their inside. Well, not literally, but their blood just starts spitting out and pouring out of their ears and their eyes, and they just fall over dead. Every man across the world. What? No one knows why. No one knows how. Was it an attack? There are mysteries. I love that. This show. The great thing I'm enjoying, at least about the show, is that it's all built around this huge mystery of what the fuck happened, and it's led to this. And it's an interesting apocalyptic event because, it's not an apocalyptic event in the ways that we are used to seeing it. We're used to seeing zombie apocalypse, nuclear apocalypses, things of that nature. Maybe the earth is changing. Maybe the sun's getting close or something. There are so many other apocalypses I would think of, but I've never heard, I haven't heard of halving, like Endgame in a way. Endgame, the world on Endgame was, in a lot of ways, an apocalypse because half of everyone was gone. So, crime went out of the wazoo. Mayhem and crime probably went out the crazies. I'm still sad we never really got a movie in that, but that's a story for another day. But for me, it is just interesting because the entire show, and I remember hearing this from people when they were talking about the comic so long ago, is that the entire comic is like a thought experiment. What if all the men on the planet just disappeared? What if they just disappeared? No, what if all the men on the planet died? And not just like, what if they died? And what would be the immediate aftermath of that? And it brings up a load of things that never occurred to me or even crossed my mind. Is that there are so many major fields that keep our country, America, and other countries going, you know, electrical and water-wise and all these different fields that are so man-dominated that, like, let's say 70% of certain fields, of certain major fields, are men and 30% are women. And it's a rising, if the women's is rising, but it's still 30 to 70. If 70% of the workforce just dies, there's not enough time to train other people to take their places. And that will be problematic all across the board on all of these different major fields, is there is literally not enough women who know this stuff because, you know, we already know why, because there was just not enough women trained to know this stuff. And sure, that number was rising, that 70 to 30% was rising, but it ain't there yet, and they can't afford to have half the people who are prepared to do this gone. And it spirals. You know, there are so many things like that that just go out of control. And like, there's the weight down people. But what they get into in this show is, which is something I also didn't think about, is the more political aspects of it. And like, you know, the blame game. You did this. Like, all of this stuff out there. And especially with the mother was going to run for president. Yorick's mother was going to run for president. Like I said, she had very big aspirations. And since the president died and, you know, his vice president died, and like you just keep going down the line of people who died, somewhere, somehow, she ends up becoming the president, which is crazy. I mean, of course you got the fucking mystery of, you know, the whole thing about like no woman can even have, like, first of all, no woman can have a boy. Because the boy will die. So the earth is fucking, there's so much, I don't want to spoil anything for you, but there's so many things, so many angles, so much drama, and in the heart of it, you got Yorick Brown. Now, Yorick is like, he is a typical slacker. Now, granted, I don't want to say this word, because I know I'm going to get some shit in the comment section about it, but the fact of the matter is, he comes from a super rich family, his mom and dad still pays for his bills, so he can, you know, his mom and dad paying his bills allows him to try to pursue his childish dreams, even though he has no backbone whatsoever to pursue them, and tries, and he's like, he does reek of privilege. And he's got this whole thing going on where, like, he's just a slacker. He's the ultimate slacker. And the idea that they're going with here, and I get what they're going with, is the idea that he is the last man you want to be the last hope for the earth. Because, make no mistake about it, they're on borrowed time, and that's the problem. Even if they could train enough women to do these fields and to do all these things, there wouldn't be any time because no one can have any babies. And not only that, the sperm banks are apparently, the generators are dying out there because the power is dying. There's all kinds of things going on. But Yorick is at the heart of this. We don't know why. Him and his monkey. Because it's not just men. I might have misspoken. It is every being on Earth with the Y chromosome. Every being. They actually tricked me. Because at a certain point, Yorick's sister, is hanging out with these, what I thought were, I guess there were dudes. And I was sitting there, I was so confused. I was like, oh, well, they look like young dudes. Maybe it didn't work on him. I was like, oh, why is it called Why the Last Man? He's not the last man. There's these dudes. And they were like, oh, all these guys got sex changes. Because at a certain point, one dude was like, the change has been hard for me. And they took all the testosterone. And I was like, oh, shit. I didn't know that. In my mind, I was like, damn, dude. Look, I don't, whatever your political affiliations and whatever you feel of that, I don't give a rat's ass. That doctor did an amazing job on you, dude. I wouldn't even have known. Honest to God, I wouldn't have even known that guy got a sex change. or that woman got a sex change. I would have not known. I'd have just been like, whoa, I've been hanging with that dude. I mean, it wouldn't have changed anything. I don't got any problem with it. I just have been like, damn, dude. Like, if he had told me that, like, if I was hanging with that guy and he had told me, yeah, I was a woman, I got a sex change, I'd be like, get the fuck out of here, bro. I don't believe it. Like, honestly, right now, I'm like, I still don't believe it. Like, I'm like, no, you guys just cast a dude and said he got a sex change, right? Because damn, whoever that surgeon was, motherfucker, damn, man, that man makes some money, dog. But I digress. You know, there's a lot of drama going on. There's a lot of political people moving things. There's a certain person who may or may not have a claim to the presidency, and she is problematic. I mean, real problematic. I mean, they don't really shy away from too much, and then there's also the apocalyptic elements. People's like the food being kind of scarce, because you gotta remember, every being with the Y chromosome died. You know, so I mean that's all the animals. That's half of the animals on the planet. Half of the animals, maybe more than half of the animals on the planet died. You know, so you gotta think about that too, and also, you know. I mean, like I said, there's a lot to be said, and it's not enough food to go around. The power is out, so you gotta imagine there's a lot of places that power are shutting down, so there's a lot of food going bad. I mean, like I say, this entire scenario is fun. It's just a thought project. It's just really is. It's really a thought project. I've seen some people have complaints, but I'm enjoying it so far. I'm enjoying Why the Last Man in 3 episodes. By the time the 3rd episode had come to an end, there's something that happens that with a certain character that makes me just go, yo, she ain't fucking around, dude. And I'm like, I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see what happens next. So I'm excited. I'm enjoying Why the Last Man. Maybe one day I'll pick up the comic. I'll probably do like I did with The Boys after I watched it, and I'll just read a bit of the comic, which, oh man, that didn't... The Boys comic is way worse. The Boys comics, you know what? Like, people think The Boys is actually bad, and I did think it was bad until I read the comics, and I was like, oh no, time out, no, it could be much worse, it could be much worse, it could be much fucking worse. Every single sequence is much worse in the comics. But I digress. I'm enjoying The Boys, not The Boys, I'm enjoying Why the Last Man. If I had to grade the first 3 episodes, I'd give it an 8. I give it an 8. 8.5 in fact. I'm enjoying myself. It's very good, it's very cool, it's a different approach to an apocalyptic situation. The mystery, it's all built around this central mystery of first of all, why did everyone die? Why did all the males on the planet die? And who did it? Why did they die? Who did it? And why is Yorick immune? Did Yorick do something? Why is he immune? Now, I will minorly spoil something, but that doesn't mean anything. They make changes all the time. I did see a video. I did see something where someone said that the actual conclusion is actually kind of underwhelming, because that's, quote unquote, because that's not what it's about. It's not about the actual answer. It's about the thought project and the things you can do in that environment, and that's the cool part. But I'm like, I hope the creators on this actually did come up with a good answer, because that's just a fascinating thing. I'm curious of what they can come up with. Who set this up? Who killed all these people? Who fucking, like, why they do it? And why is Yorick immune? It's just, it's a curious thing. I got my theories, but, you know, I'll wait. I hope the show's successful, because I really want to see the answer to that. Anyways, thank you guys for the Comic Game Movie Show. Please like, subscribe, and have you seen Why the Last Man? The first 3 episodes are actually up on Hulu right now. And if you got on demand, you probably could see it on FX too. It's probably on there. But yeah, the first 3 episodes on Hulu right now. That's where I saw them. Thank you guys for the Comic Game Movie Show. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.